With me at the moment is Charlie Dimmock, English gardening expert and TV presenter, my favourite crush. One of the team on Ground Force from Southampton, is that right? Does that explain the accent?
No, the accent, the drawl, comes from living in Somerset while I was a student. So I've got that accent, yeah. I was at college in Cannington, which is near to Bridgewater. So that was the horticultural college that I went to.
Now at school you wanted to specialise in forensic science. What happened?
I think, this is going to age me. I think I'd been watching too much Quincy.
He's still on now, Quincy.
We're repeating everything, even Ground Force is back on.
Oh, I know, I'm loving that, I must admit. Reliving the memories.
Yeah.
Path you took, how did that come about?
Well, the gardening side, really, I was studying science A-levels and stuff like that, but then I'd been at a Saturday job since I was 14, 15 at the garden centre, which was ponds based, and then I sort of drifted into full-time working at the garden centre. Then I thought I'd better go and get trained, so I went to horticultural college in Winchester and then in Somerset, which was where I did my base. I was lucky to get a placement at the Chelsea Physic Garden, which is just down from where they have at the Royal Hospital, where they have the Flowershow. I was very lucky, and then I went back and worked at the garden centre, became the manager, and then...
Did you get your own water feature centre?
No, they don't believe what you read in the press. I worked at garden centre and there was a boss, but all the press used to say it was mine. It wasn't.
Well, when you were in Ground Force, two things spring to mind. Tommy and Alan, do you still see them?
I do, but Tommy and Alan are at the same agency as me. So, yeah, I see Tommy and Alan regular. Well, Tommy I chat to more than Alan, but I do see Alan as well because, as I said, we've got the same agent, or big agents. So, yeah.
You did so many memorable things. One of them I remember, Nelson Mandela's garden. What other highlights can you remember from those times?
Oh, well, we got to do some amazing things. Yes, Nelson Mandela garden, I have to say, was probably the one that everybody remembers. I don't think any of us thought it was going to be his actual back garden, but it was his actual back garden in Kunu, which, if you saw his funeral, was where he was buried. It was like a 3-day drive from Port Elizabeth. It was like an hour's drive because that was the nearest hotel. And when we were there working, because we were working just outside of the building, so we had all the deliveries and everything outside of the garden, the house. And on the second day, because when there were specials, which it was 3-day bill, on the second day this lady turned up in full regalia, looked amazing, and she's the chief of the village, and Nelson Mandela was secondary to her, and she's asked what we were doing, and we explained, and she said, "Oh, now I know that's fine, you're safe, I'll make sure nobody kills you." And we all went, I thought it was a joke, but she was very serious.
Unbelievable.
Oh, okay. But no, that was amazing. But then we did a job in Jamaica, India. I got to fly a Hawk jet at RAF Anglesey. So I had some very...
And you've done Panto.
And I've done Panto, yes. I enjoyed Panto, 5 years of Panto.
And more recently, you've done Garden Rescue.
Garden Rescue with the Rich Brothers, yeah.
Now, those two, do you think it's a bit unfair? Because they're brothers, aren't they?
I say that when I don't win, yeah. So they're brothers, there's two of them, and they're just trained in garden design. I'm just a gardener.
I know, yeah. Who does you? Do you do your own drawings?
You must be able to tell that it's me that does the drawings because they look so dodgy compared to their beautiful computer-generated, architecturally amazing designs, and mine's like... Well, I do make them laugh because we do a bit of filming where we have to work together doing our drawings, and I turn up with my bendy ruler and my French curves and they don't even know what they are.
And little stick men, loving it. And you've actually had your own garden range.
Poundland.
Yeah, bringing gardening to the masses, making it cheap because all the stuff's really expensive.
Yeah, and the other thing about Poundland is they tend to be in the centre of town because not everybody's got a car, not everyone can get to out of town, big places or garden centres. And if you've only got a balcony and 2 containers, you don't need 70 litres of potting compost, 15 will do.
That's true. So gardening is enjoyable. It's for everyone. Now, while you're at the Southport Flower Show, have you picked many ideas up today? Because there's some inspirational gardens, the water gardens out here and water features. Awesome.
Yeah, see, I was lucky enough to be in here before everybody else was. So I was running around with my camera. What's one of them? There were young people going, what's that? I said, it's a camera, it's not a phone. Taking photos, because it's always a good idea to wander around, get a few ideas, see what everyone's doing.
Is that when you dropped all the cups?
See, somebody's been talking to you. Yes, but what was great about it, it did look like it was John Craven that dropped the cups, because I picked it up because they wanted to do a photo and handed it to him, because normally they tell you that they're in two bits and they normally hand it to you with the top bit and the bottom bit, and then you put them together and hold them together. But they handed it to me as one, but they didn't say that they stuck it together with blue tack. So the blue tack held for so many seconds, just for me long enough to hand it over to John, and then the bottom dropped off and dropped straight in the pond.
Oh dear.
So that's why I've not been here since 1998.
I know, it's nearly 20 years, isn't it, since you were last here? You must have been 5 when you came last time. So what is in the pipeline next for Charlie Dimmock?
Well, we've just started filming another series of garden rescue, which we are up around this area. We're doing some in Lancashire, I do believe, and we're doing some in Yorkshire, but I can't say where.
And you're doing the question and answers here as well at the Southport Flower Show. So have yourself a brilliant day, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.